This is the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Tonight, we're going to walk through the Ossus dailies in detail and give you some tips and tricks for how we like to get through them and why you might want to do them and what the right way, at least in our view, is in doing them. This broadcast astromech is EPC 277. This one right over here. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema's. How's it going?
Way of doing them. There may be other ways, but these are our ways of doing Ossus. And okay. So yeah, this Tuesday night, we're recording on Tuesday night, and we just got done with MFN, which we did a long evening of Rampage, starting with Iocath, which I don't think we should ever start with Iocath ever again.
No. It was not
Iocath
optimal.
takes a while.
Boring.
Because it's just we had a lot of people. It's not that it takes a while to kill. It's just a lot of running around. So the classic cadence of Rampage.
I think you're cutting out. You're cutting out a little bit.
Uh-oh. I don't know why that would be. So anyway, yeah. So I did some Ossus dailies and we'll talk about that. And how was your week, Max?
My week was also good. I have also been keeping up with the Ossus dailies and weeklies. That's part of the reason why we're talking about this, because Seema and I got together over the weekend to run it on a character, and then we started realizing we each have tips and tricks for how we run it and why we run it the way we run it, and sort of gelled on some of our tips and tricks. We figured we'd walk through it with everybody else. It was sort of a fun conversation. I also got in the timed weekly this week. We'll talk about that, which I haven't been doing, but did end up doing this week. And it's the same timed weekly this week, I noticed, which is to do a story modes ops. I've been doing it on multiple characters. So this I learned from Zen, who at the earliest point possible, as soon as you were able to, I think it was the 4-week mark when you were able to get legendary, he had a character fully outfitted in 258 gear. And he did that by doing it on 4 Sorks, basically, or the equivalent of 4 Sorks. So we'll talk about some tips and tricks for doing that. And I finally hit Legend, wait for it, Dairy rep on Ossus. This week, I finally turned in enough of the tokens and paid attention, and did a bunch of conquest. So that's what I've been doing. Let's check in on a little bit of news.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
In the news this week, we had a note in the dev tracker that did talk about a long maintenance that was done this morning as part of the maintenance for today that was extra long, and they just explained why. And it wasn't for any interesting reason, unfortunately. It was data center hardware upgrades, extra testing associated with those hardware upgrades, and they just wanted to get everything stable and well maintained as they were fixing the hardware in their data centers. I think there were people sort of chiming in the forum saying, well, tell us exactly what you did. I don't think they're going to bother to do that. It's just hardware maintenance is probably not all that interesting. If it was going to give us some big performance boost or more scale on the servers, I think they probably would have announced this. This is probably just regular hardware maintenance that they're doing. So that's what that was for, if you were wondering why it was longer.
And Matt published his penultimate round of tweaks to the Hive of the Mountain Queen fight. I say penultimate because he did comment that there's a couple things that he did that didn't make it into the latest PTS build, so they will show up on live. Sounds exciting to me, but yeah.
Exciting in a my car is careening towards the edge of the road. Exciting. Way. We'll just make some tweaks right before we put it live. We'll do it on live. I don't always test, but when I do it in production.
Test on live. Yes. Well, I bet there's small things that he's confident won't have a bad result. Anyway,
it's mostly to the point.
So I'm kind of looking forward to this lair fight, even though.
Yeah. I am too. We went in and checked it out on the PTS as far as two-manning or dying to some of the trash leading up to it. We didn't get far enough. We didn't bother to end up being able to get a group together So yeah, I'm dying for it to get in there. I'm sure we'll get in there as with our ops team, and if it's a easy enough thing to do, maybe we'll do it on our MFN nights too, and not do something boring like IOCath for an hour again. Man, oh man, I'm still bored. I'm almost done being
We have
bored of that.
we have residual boredom.
Yes. Um. Also, I just figured this isn't in the dev tracker, but we do know that the patch is going to be out soon. We don't know exactly when it's going to be out. I thought I had seen either speculation or confirmation that it was going to be out on Tuesday the 5th, which would mean next week. That may not be the case. It may be further out. I don't know why I heard that. I should have asked Seema. Seema, when is the patch coming out?
December 11.
December 11th. That's 6.0. That's your 6.0 prediction, isn't it? No, your 6.0
No.
is October something. October 7th
Yeah.
or something like that for 6.0.
Yes, I have to look it up. I've forgotten my prediction, but it was October something.
So keep an eye out. We should have that patch with bug fixes, which we desperately need, and this Hive of the Lair of the Mountain of the Queen coming out quite soon, which will be cool. What do we got in guild news, Seema?
As you guys know, we do mega. Right now, I think it looks like it might be on the 22nd of February. But don't hold me to that. And I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm sure it'll be something fun.
Yes, Marcus is in the planning for Mega there in February, and we'll get you the notes on that as soon as they become available. There's another guild event I wanted to call out. It's in World of Warcraft. It's becoming an annual event. We had an amazing guildie that passed away in recent years, 2 years ago now, coming up in February. His name was Ralph. Great guy, leader in our guild, one of the founders. So what was established last year and we're repeating again this year in World of Warcraft is what we're calling Ralph's Amazing Race. It was an event that we had done in Star Wars in the past, and Ralph was part of and saw it and said, hey, we should do this in more of the games across AIE the Guild. He wanted to do it in WoW in particular, but never got the opportunity, unfortunately, and he passed away before that could happen. So our guild took it upon the WoW guild in particular took it upon themselves to say, hey, this is one of the things he was trying to get going. Let's do it in sort of in remembrance of him, and we'll do it every year on the 1 year mark. So we're doing it on February 17th again this year. And if you have a character in WoW, it's a really cool kind of event. It's going to hop from expansion to expansion and location to location. You're going to get clues. And you're going to have to track down where you're supposed to go check in with people hidden in the landscape in those locations. And there'll be prizes and a lot of fun will be had. So keep an eye out for that if you've got a World of Warcraft character and want to join in on that. That'll be happening on the 17th. Which leads us to the chat room. You wanna say hi to the chat room, Seema? I already said hi.
Yes, I do. Hello, chat room. Yeah. Turn up my heater. Zen in the chat room is saying that I froze for a second there. I actually have been freezing in game for a second or two all this evening, off and on. So
maybe that's
thought he
related.
meant that, but no.
Your mic even once in a while still cutting out for a second. Maybe that's related. Maybe you got a little. Maybe you need a 6-hour hardware maintenance, Seema.
Yes, I think I do. I think I at least need a 20-minute one.
So we'll see how that
So
goes.
anyway, yes, chat room. Thank you for coming and thank you for keeping us honest. We do appreciate it very much, and you guys are the best.
You guys are the best. And with that, why don't we get into our we're bringing the party to you on Ossus. Where's my sounds?
You must unlearn what you have learned.
All right, I'll give it a try.
And then give me a try. I keep forgetting that's in there at the end. I should just cut that part out. No, try not. Do or do not Ossus dailies. There is no try. So unlearn what you have learned about Ossus dailies. We're gonna give you the skinny and the sweet and lowdown and the whatnot. Uh, so we're here.
This week and lockdown.
We're gonna start. We're gonna do it on the Republic's on the Imperial side. So we're gonna start in the Imperial base. We're gonna do it on the Imperial side. So it is slightly different on the Republic side in some cool ways, and we'll even talk about that a little bit. But we're gonna go from the top here. We're gonna go to the boards here. So in the Republic base here, you hit M on the map. There's all these quest givers, these mission givers, and the main mission board. This is where you pick up the stuff, right? So go to the mission board. On the mission board is one of the weeklies. One of the weeklies on the mission board is the Masterwork Data Crystal Weekly. There's a one-time quest also. So I guess let's start there because I don't have that. We can't pick that up. That's called Flesh and Steel. The one-time quest, Flesh and Steel, to kill the 2 world bosses is pretty cool because that will give you the option of getting a 252 main hand or offhand weapon shield, whatever, weapon shield generator, whatever you want, main hand, offhand. So definitely do that. And then the weekly is Masterwork Data Crystal. This weekly is again to kill the 2 world bosses or to do ranked PvP. So if you're just PvP, there's still a way for you to get Masterwork Data Crystals that they were trying to make as part of this. So this is number 1 you need to pick up. You need to pick up the Masterwork Data Crystal weekly, and most of us has been killing the 2 world bosses. We don't have a lot of ranked PvPers in the guild. So have that in your mission log. Then these other quest givers behind the board here are a couple other ones. So here's the Sith Intelligence asset that gives you... All right, man, thank you. This is the weekly. This is the most, I would say this is the most important weekly. So this weekly is for doing 10 dailies. 10 dailies throughout the week, however you want to do them, and we'll talk about different ways to do them. This is, the reward for this is 1 of 3 possible artifact armor boxes, and you get to pick. It's either the lower body, the tech, or the upper body. And if you hover over it, it tells you what you might get out of it. So it's a random item out of it. It's a 252 gear piece. In the lower body, it's either waist, legs, feet, or relics. In the tech, it's main hand, offhand, head, or ear. And in the upper body, it's chest, wrist, hands, or implants. So you could get, you could get implants for 4 weeks straight, and that would be a little bit,
Yep.
frustrating. But at least you've got 3 different boxes to choose from, and you can definitely get a 252 piece. So you'll get at least 3 252 pieces 3 weeks in a row that you don't have, because you can get one, open each of the boxes. I did get 2 implants before I got anything else out of the implant, whichever the box says. Yeah, the upper body. So I did the upper body twice. I got 2 implants right away, and then I did the upper body on my commando, got another implant. That was a little bit frustrating because I was hoping to get gear pieces to share between those 2. But I think this is the most important one. So you've been doing this one every week. Seema, have you gotten any good pieces out of it?
Actually, I've done it twice, and I've gotten 2 implants.
A lot of implants. I did it this week, this past week. I haven't done it this week yet. I did it this past week, and I got a chest piece finally. So I do have 3 gear pieces now. I have 2 implants. So this is my mark. I have 2 implants, which I have equipped. So I've got 252 in both my implants. And then I have a head, boots, and chest piece. I am not yet equipping my 252 gear because I don't want to break my 6-piece set bonus yet. I'm probably close to being able to do it. It's probably close to being able to be worth it. And once I get to maybe the 4-piece, yeah, I don't really need the gear, so I've just been holding it in my bag and keeping it. So this is one way to get the gear. The other way is those Masterwork crystals, so that's why you're getting that other daily to kill the world bosses. So here, did I pick that up? No, I didn't even pick it up. Accept. Yes. Shush. Then the other one here on this second Sith Intelligent asset is the weekly heroic missions. Do this if you feel like it. I typically don't. So what you get for this is you get rep and you get command points. You get a significant number of command points, which is nice, but I don't know. I find them a little bit of a hassle. If I really wanted the command points, maybe I would go and do it. I I don't doing the heroics do not count for the 10 dailies for the other weekly. So I've just been skipping this last couple weeks. I did it the first couple weeks. I've been skipping it the last couple weeks.
Yeah, it totally depends what the goals are for the character that you're playing that day.
They're not tough. Some of the weeklies, the heroic 2s, there's a heroic 4 that's a little bit tougher. In fact, I have done that one. That's one I made sure to do when I was doing the heroics the first couple weeks because it was a fun challenge and I was soloing that heroic 4. However, now I'm just trying to get the 10 done. I'm trying to do other things, so I've just been skipping the heroics. So we're not going to show off any of the heroics this week. I would combine the heroics with other dailies you're going to do in that area. Go and use the heroic maybe for a little bit of a quick travel to get to one of those areas quickly. Otherwise, if you're just doing it to get the Masterwork data crystals and get on your journey to 252, 258, those heroics are useless for that. And here's this last guy over here. This is a daily. This is a daily for doing 5 dailies. Again, it's not much. It's credits, command points, 1100 command. Depending on your bonuses, it's going to be slightly different. And relics of Ossus. So for this and for the rest of the dailies that we're going to get off the board, a lot of them reward relics of Ossus. Relics of Ossus is a currency, and you can't hold that many of them. In fact, I'm probably capped on them or close to capped. I've been trying to spend them. Yeah, see, I'm capped. I'm capped on relics of Ossus. I've got 1,000 out of 1,000. These use for the vendors down below to buy decos. In fact, we'll go down.
I mean,
we'll go down
I got capped last week on the weekly cap without even thinking about it.
Right. The weekly is
a low
250.
Weekly cap and a low total.
Yeah. So I think that's a little too low for those relics, but there's not all that much you'd be saving up for. Just go buy more decos. The decos are relics of Ossus plus credits, but they're relatively cheap. I do have a new one since I just hit legendary last week that I haven't gone down and checked out, so we'll run down to that vendor real quick here in a second. And then, as I said, on the board is all the regular dailies. So for the regular dailies, this is not all of the dailies. So if you see here, there's 6, 7, 8. There's 8 dailies on the board. There are also additional dailies once we get to the flight points or the quick travel points that are in the map. So if you want to do 10 in one day, you definitely can. You pick up these 8, which I'm going to do. Pick them all up. Make sure you have a lot of room in your quest log. So now if you look here, I've got 11 missions so far from Ossus, and then there's 1 to 2 more at each of the quick travel points on the map. So I think you can end up with something like a total of 17. So have a lot of room in your mission log if you're trying to do everything in a day. So there's that, and then let's go downstairs because there's 1 more downstairs that we need to look at. Actually, 2. There's 2 more downstairs that we need to look at, and we can go say hi to the vendors. All right. Don't jump off of this. I'm not going to even be able to res you.
I didn't jump off it. I was just jumping on it. See, I'm still on it.
Yeah. I can't res you. You're not resable. You're gonna have to release or.
I literally was just jumping up and down.
Yeah, which is weird. Because the problem is that elevator drops faster than you free fall. So if you jump, the elevator is dropping faster than you're gonna free fall back down to get your feet back on the elevator platform, and you will die. So it's falling. It's motoring downwards faster than your body's terminal velocity, unfortunately. And it was quite terminal for you, Seema. So while Seema is coming down here and getting back down here, this is one additional quest you can do, mission you can do twice a week. So this is the mysterious smuggler. There's one for the Imperial, one for the Republic. When you click on him, the first time you click on him each week, you can turn in 500 unassembled components for a Masterwork data crystal. The second time in that week that you click on them, you can turn in an additional 1,500 unassembled components for another Masterwork data crystal. I would recommend, because you got to think in the long term, I would recommend only doing the 500 unless you really needed another Masterwork data crystal, because I've been doing 500 a week on a couple characters and I'm now running out of unassembled components. So sorry, I was looking over here. My screen is looking weird. Is it? Yeah, I think it's 1,500 and not 1,000, isn't it? Isn't it 1,500? And I think that
I don't know.
the chat room would be telling me if the stream wasn't working. My side view of the stream looked like it was.
Yeah,
it
when
was
you
not
went silent
working.
for a second there, I was like, "Oh no, what's happening?"
I was afraid that we were off the air, but I think we are still on the air. We still a good chat room, don't we? I think we still look good. I'm just not getting anything on my second screen here. But yeah, so it's I think it's 1,500 for the second one. Somebody can double check. Anyway, it's a lot. It's a lot for the second one. I don't have 500 unassembled components on me.
Yeah, you do have to have them on you, but there is there are cargo bays not too far away.
Yeah.
Like right over here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, they're right here. All right. So I will turn in 500 because I haven't done it on this character this week. That is the guild bank, which I do not need. Here's my legacy storage. This is where I keep them. Click on all the things. It's Sir Galahad says we are looking good, and as you know, it is better to look good than to feel good. And you look marvelous. Nobody gets that reference. That's like, welcome to 1982. All right, here's my 500 unassembled components. Billy Crystal on Saturday Night Live in 1980. Turn in my 500 unassembled components, get a Masterwork data crystal. Sounds good. Thank you. Now I click on him again, and second time around, he wants, price has gone up, 1,000. It is 1,000. So Sir Galahad is right. But still, I've been holding off, and now I'm pretty much out of unassembled components anyway. So that is the second of the two down here that I wanted to show off, and the third is over here, and the third is called the timed weekly. So what you get for the timed weekly, I must still have it on this character. Let me abandon it because it's not showing up. Do you see it right there, Seema?
I see the droid, but he doesn't have a quest for me. I must have it too. How would we have gotten it though?
Yeah.
Oh, from last week. Because we did it on our pub characters.
Time limited mission, right there. Time limited missions droid. So what this droid will give you is a rotating mission each week that changes. What I've seen so far, and I don't know if it could be something else, but do a story mode operation was one of the options. Do three master mode flashpoints, or 3 or 4 master mode flashpoints was the other one I saw. So this one here you want to pick up if you're going to do either of those things and get an additional Masterwork data crystal each week. And why are we getting the Masterwork data crystals? That's the currency that you're going to use to buy additional 252 and 258 gear. Here are a couple of those vendors. These are the rep vendors for the relics of Ossus. So I'll show you what those look like. Spend away. So here you can get like the Holocron Forge, which is pretty cool. You can get some of the statues that have little flames coming out of them. Now that I'm legendary, I can get some of the extra sculptures and stuff that I wasn't able to get last week. And then this other vendor on the right has one that the Darth Melora deco. So Darth Melora hanging out in your stronghold. She's a little bit animated. She has a little bit of idle animations. This requires legendary rep to be able to get. And now I can get it with 20 relics of Ossus and 90k credits. So I will buy one of those because that's pretty cool. And you also get these like disguise terminals and a bunch of other stuff. Wow, that's pretty cool too. Those disguise terminals. The disguise terminals you can think of in terms of the fitting into that SWTOR storyline. I think that's why they've got these kind of things going. So I will get a couple of those too. Use up some of my relics of Ossus. So there, I used up 220 relics of Ossus. The only other thing on here besides decos is an armor set, a legacy armor set that you can get, which is the Ossus Explorer set, a customization for Nadia, and then the Ancient Tome. The Ancient Tome is an exotic crafting material that you would use if you were a crafter that would be crafting 258 gear using exotic ancient tomes and additional crafting materials that only drop in master mode operations. Master mode Gods from the Machine, for example. So difficult to get. Not many people are doing that. Quite expensive, and it takes stacks and stacks of other crafting materials that are quite rare and expensive as well.
For the Alliance.
Okay. Anything else down here that you wanted to mention, Seema, for this stuff before we
No.
get
Although
out there?
I would just say beware the elevator.
Beware the elevator. Okay. So, there was another timed weekly for 8 medals in a war zone. Wasn't there a timed weekly for GSF? Yeah. Okay. So, Forrester mentioned a couple other ones. Yeah, 4 master mode flashpoints, story mode ops group finder, 8 medals in a war zone. That is quite easy to get. You could just stand around guarding one of the nodes and heal yourself up a little bit, do a little bit of damage, and then 3 GSF wins. A couple of those have been broken. The GSF wins, for example, as a timed weekly, I think was broken. I don't know if there was a trick or a workaround to get it to making sure you were able to get credit, but I know some people are having problems with that. So hopefully they're going to fix all of that in the upcoming patch too. Yeah, I forgot. I think I did one of those timed weeklies with the 8 medals in a war zone. That wasn't too tough. All right, so let's go do some dailies. I like to start so on the Imperial side, we worked out that we like to start at the farms. So I'm just going to quick travel to farms now. I picked up all my missions. I'm all ready to go. Quick travel to farms. That's what I'm going to do first. I got my Darth Hexed out. I like Darth Hexed because she's a melee range character. She doesn't stand 50 meters away and do nothing, which is another big bug we hope they're going to fix. So here, I quick traveled to the farms, and you notice when we get here, there's 2 more missions that you're able to pick up. One of them is a heroic, and one of them is another daily. So this one, the heroic, is the heroic 4, which we're going to ignore for now, but you could do. I like this heroic 4 because it's a challenge to try to do solo, and it is possible to solo. I do solo it on my mercenary, and I soloed it on my Vanguard also. But if you're going to do the weekly heroics or try to pick up some of the heroics, this is where you pick them up at these quick travel points. So we're going to ignore the heroic, but we are going to pick up this other one. And this is why we go to the farms first, because I like to pick up this one first, which is the macro binocular daily. So the macro binocular daily is completed in 2 of the subzones. So there's 4 zones out here where you're doing the daily missions. This happens in 2 of them. You do 2 scans in one zone and 2 scans in another. So I come here first, I pick it up, I do 2 of the scans here at the farms while we're hanging out here, along with a couple of the dailies that you do that we already picked up on the board at the farms, and then we'll move on to the next place. Right, Seema?
Correct, Max.
So there's tricks to the macro binoculars. This is the first one I'll also mention. As soon as and it's different again on the Republic side. On the Republic side, you don't pick up the macro binocular quest at the farms. You pick it up at one of the other locations, and your zone in point, your quick travel point, your flight point is at a different location. So you got to get used to where the best place is to go and find those macro binocular points to scan what you're supposed to be looking at. Here on the Republic side, I just picked it up. We're right outside the flight point, right here. I click on the macro binoculars right outside the flight point, and I pick up the first 2 of the 4 hits that I need to get. So one of them is the big oval cylinder tanks.
It's a great spot.
Yep. So do that one, click it again, and then it's the crop fields. So you click on the crop fields, and now you've got half of one of the dailies done. Now we won't complete the dailies here, but let's ride down there to show them what we were doing to complete these ones here.
Yes.
So the 2 here for the farms on the Republic side are destroying turrets and sabotaging the farms. This is really quick on the Imperial side. So
Yes. I love it on the Imperial side.
ignore the bugs. You don't need to shoot any bugs while you're here on the Imperial side. The Republic side, you do need to shoot bugs, and it takes a while. Just go find the turrets. You need to shoot, 10 turrets? Yep. So just stay here in these little canals until you get to each turret. Shoot the turrets, and then as you're moving down the canals, also shooting turrets, you're going to see these farm implements. And there's tanks, and there's stacks of crates, and there's bunches of different things. You click on the upside down triangle at the top of any of one of these points of interest, and you throw a grenade at it, and those are the 3 sabotage things you need to do to sabotage farms. So then you just work your way around, you shoot and blow up turrets, you blow up and sabotage the farms 3 times, and Bob's your uncle. You're done with the farms. So the chat room is mentioning, on the Republic side, it's a nice little flip for what happens here. On the Republic side, you walk around and you click on turrets that aren't popped up out of the ground, and you turn on the turrets. On the Republic side, the turrets that are popped up out of the ground, you're blowing those up and you're shooting those turrets. So I do like that mirror on both sides.
Yes, it has a story, component to it. Like on the pub side, you have different goals.
Yeah. It's sort of you get a feel of those 2 sides, Republic versus Alliance, even though you're not PvPing in here. If you're not on the PvP map, you get the feel of it from what you're doing on both of the sides. So that was pretty cool. So you do those 2, you do your 2 scans, and you're done with the farms on the Imperial side. On the Republic side, there's 3 things I think that you do here. You test a serum on the bugs, which is a pain because you use the serum on the bugs and it doesn't work every single time, and the bugs come in groups of 3 and then they aggro you. My tip there is to put your companion on heal, click on one of the bugs. If it doesn't work, then the bug gets big and you have to kill it. If it works on the bug turns green and the rest of its group evades. Let the bugs run to you. Kill the one if it becomes big. Do not kill the other 2, because it's about a 30-second cooldown on the little vaccine that you're shooting the bugs with. Wait for that cooldown to go down, and then shoot one of the other bugs that's still there aggroing you. So kill the 2 small, or try the serum on the 2 small bugs first. So you end up trying it on all 3 of the bugs in each of the groups as you move around, because you got to get it to work on 10 of them, which is a pain. Or 8 of them? 8.
Right.
8 of them.
So what I do is I don't put my companion on heels, but I direct her to the one that got big, and then I just call her back after she finishes killing that, and we wait out the cooldown while they're shooting me or her, and do it that way.
The other thing you're doing on the Republic side, as we mentioned, is you're turning on the turrets. And the third thing you do on the Republic side is you go down into... Oh, no, we have this one too. I forgot. We have a mirror of this side. So let's go down into the... This is part of this zone, but it's down in the south. So then there's this little south area. You cut through... Ooh, watch it. This is the Republic. I'm going to die. Run away. No, go. Just keep running, Seema. We just ran through the Republic base. Run up the mountain here. Don't go through the Republic. This is still the Republic base. We are in the middle of the Republic base. That's gonna leave a mark. Can I mount up? No, I'm in combat. Oh, Hexa just died. Here, run through here, Seema. Don't run through the Republic base.
Yeah, don't
Oh no.
don't do what we do.
Go around the other side if you're Imperial. But then you get down in here to this little south farm part. And if you're on the Republic side, then you're going to be putting out fires. And if you're on the Imperial side, you're going to be lighting things on fire. So see this fire? If you're on the Republic side, you're going to be clicking on the fire and it puts it out. If you're on the Imperial side, you're going to be clicking on stuff to basically be lighting things on fire, I believe. Yeah, here. So we're going to click this.
En fuego.
Oh, this is part of just the sabotage. So we could have done all of the sabotage up north. We didn't have to come down here for the Imperial side.
Yes.
But you see all this stuff on fire. That's what you would be cleaning up on the Republic side. Can I not get this one? Can you click on this one? Why can't I click that? Maybe that other person just clicked it.
No.
Or it's bugged out. Okay, so that's the farms. Now, what I like to do next is quick travel away to the Dead Forest. Yeah. And the reason we go to Dead Forest second is what, Seema? The macro binoculars. Did you cut out again? You're there, right?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. So in the Dead Forest is location number 2 to get the last 2 scan points for the Imperial Macro Binoculars quest. There's a couple places to do this. I find it easiest on the Imperial side to do the generator by jumping up right by the flight point. It's a little bit of a pain, but it's that big building right over the ridge. If you turn on the macro binoculars, usually these rocks get in your face and get in your way. Yeah, like I can't do it from there. I gotta jump up over here. There we go. Once you get up on these rocks a little bit, oh, I think I'm stuck.
Get up there, Morty.
Way up there, Morty. Then you can get the generator, which is that big building in the distance. There, I got it. And then the other one, which is often quite hard to find, the last one, is, what do they call it? The sensor array. The reason it's difficult is because most people try to get it on this, see where we are. They're trying to get it on this west side of this Dead Forest area. Go to the east side, down by where the big droid is. We'll drive around the corner here, and you'll see it's
so
actually
easy down there.
Really, it's not as bad as you think it is, because you've been doing it from the west side the whole time, where you're trying to like peek over and just see the edge of it over the mountains. You scoot around here to the other side and you see that big satellite dish over on the east side in the distance, and you go, oh, that's pretty easy. I could just scan that thing and bang, and now I'm done with another daily.
It's huge.
It's ginormous. Okay. If you have the quick travel to the heroic that's down here, you do end up so that, as the chat room is mentioning, it's right down by the entrance to that heroic, which is that bunker right down there. So you could just use the quick travel to that bunker and you would end up down there. Now, the other one that's in this Dead Forest area, which is a little bit of a pain, is there's 2 big champion droids. So the deal is you're supposed to come and kill these 2 big champion droids. The problem is their respawn rate isn't very big and they take a little while to kill. There's often either like a line or extra people standing around. So this one's a little bit of a pain, I find, and sometimes I just skip this one if I don't need to do it. If I've done like 2 different days, this is one of the ones I will. Ooh, Seema got some prizes for us. She looted some looting loot.
Yeah, I found a box back here.
I will greed on that. I will let you get it, Seema. But see here, like we've been standing here for a couple minutes already. All right, there's the droid. So fine. Now I'll kill the droid.
I usually skip this one.
Yeah. It's the worst when you see like, like two two or three groups of two people each standing around, some Republic, some Imperial, and everybody's waiting around to kill this stupid droid. Um, and there's two of these you need to kill. One is on the east side, one's on the west side. Uh,
Honestly, I waiting is waiting is not my favorite thing, but also, one time I was doing it and I waited my turn and then someone ran in and basically snipe, and I'm like, I don't need this,
yeah, right.
and I left.
That's friction and a headache you don't really need.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's fine. I mean, that person's play style is just different from mine, but I don't want to play that way. So
Yeah. If they're opposite faction, I'll cut them some slack, cause then good job. If they're same faction and somebody's standing around it, especially if you're not in a group, if you're by yourself, then just invite them. Invite them to a group. That tends to work pretty well, and people are appreciative of that. And then the other thing you're doing in this area, which I think we missed, I think we did not pick it up at the quick travel. Go back. Let's go back to the quick travel point. Did I skip it at the quick travel point?
I'm sorry. Did you skip what? I was reading chat.
uh, I'm going back to the quick travel point. I think we missed another heroic you pick up at the quick travel point, or maybe we didn't. Did I? Why did I miss that one? I thought there was one here for placing the signal jammers. Maybe you pick it up in a different one of the areas. There's two
Yes,
things you're doing on the
Galahad
west side.
says lay down an AOE before it spawns. Yeah, I could do that. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, there's
my
ways to do
point
it
was
better.
more that I just don't want to mess with it.
Right.
If people want to make it into a race randomly, like some people don't and some people do,
The other
I'm
thing,
not going to try and put down an AOE and steal it from someone
right,
ahead of me.
right, exactly. I really try
Yeah,
not to do that.
I need an instance for SEMA. No, I have an option not to do that quest, so I just don't do it. If I didn't have the option, then I would make do.
Right,
I'm not
exactly.
saying I'm not asking for special.
There's so many,
assistance.
especially because you only need to do 10 per week. If you're going to come here 2 days in a row, you can do all the ones you did the day before. So you could just do the easiest ones. And this one, since you have to travel to two different sides of the zone compared to like going to the farms and clicking 5 things, or like clicking 3 things with a grenade, there's much faster dailies if you're going to do it 2 days. The one other thing in this dead forest area is this is where the droid boss is too. Is in the north end of this zone. What you should also be doing as you're working through the dailies is looking and watching in general chat. If you see here, I'm opening general chat. There's people saying, X DPS, I'm DPS, I'm looking for a group for the world bosses. Constantly, there are people, random groups getting together to kill both of those world bosses. So what I usually do is I start doing these dailies. I keep an eye out for that. Then I'll get in a group. I'll do the 2 world bosses. Then I'll finish the dailies. That's highly recommended, and that's the easiest way to do it. Groups are getting pretty good at doing the world bosses. I won't go through the strats on that because the strats are relatively. Some groups know how to do it. Some groups don't, and the strategy on how to do the droid boss is actually relatively complicated, and I've never seen a group do it properly. Most groups people just die over and over and over and keep running back, because
Yeah.
there's the fuel cells, and there's things you do with the fuel cells and the red circles, either to blow up a fuel cell or not to blow up a fuel cell, depending on where it's positioned for specific reasons. You don't want the boss to be able to suck up the fuel out of the fuel cells because that makes it incinerate. I'm sorry, I said I wasn't going to do the strat, but you need to interrupt the incinerate or the tank dies. If the boss gets recharged by sucking up fuel cells, the incinerate becomes non-interruptible. So you can use red circles to blow up fuel cells to clear them out so the boss won't be sucking them up. However, when you blow up a fuel cell, it creates a 30-meter radius circle that can kill people. And so what you want to do is you would really need to be coordinated. You would have to have the whole group like shifting to one side, and you clear out the fuel cells on the other side, and everybody runs away from those 30 meter circles. And then you take the boss over to that clear side, and then you clear out the circles on the other side, and you move back and forth like that. Nobody does it that way. People just pick a random strategy like, I'm going to not put the red circles on a fuel cell so they don't blow up. Some people say, oh, no, you need to blow up fuel cells, so they blow one up. However, they blow one up right in the middle of the melee, and they don't blow up the one that is under the droid tank. So the tank dies because of incinerate. So then the tank, the droid turns around and does incinerate on the group and kills a bunch of people, and then the big 30-meter circle kills a bunch of people, and people just are running back constantly throughout that fight. So I get sort of frustrated.
What I found doing these quests too is that people, it's not that uncommon for somebody putting a group together to ask someone to do a summon. So even though don't be afraid not to join a group, even though you think it might take it a long time to form, because you can run around, be doing your finishing up your daily chores while you're waiting for the group to finish forming, because there's a good chance they're going to summon everybody anyway.
Yeah, a lot of groups are really good about summoning, and completing dailies while you're in the group waiting for it to fill up and form does work. Yeah, so that's a good point.
Yeah, it does.
While I'm ranting about world boss strategies, I might as well go over the other one for the bug boss really quick. The key to the bug boss is to get way up in the bug's butt. Everybody in the group way up their Morty. And I type this in to ops chat all the time in these random groups. You got to get way up there, Morty. I need you to get way up in his butt, Morty. Because if you do that, if you take the tank gets up against a wall, faces the bug towards the tank, everyone else, every single other person stacks up in the bug's butt, and then you sidestep to the left or right by about 10 meters, depending on where the spit lands. You can't stand in the spit. Spit is bad, but everybody just sidesteps to the left and right a little bit and just stays way up in the bug's butt. You will blast that boss down so quickly, you'll be amazed. What happens is that fight is all about the ads. And the ads have healer ads and a bunch of champion ads. And if you're all stacked up on the boss's butt, then all of the ads just stack up right on top of you, and you drop some AoEs and you're killing the boss at the same time you're killing the ads. The meat grinder, all the AoE just mashes all of the ads down, and the boss is taking a bunch of damage while that's going on, and then you do some single target damage on the boss. You're just doing these little side steps to get out of the spit. The boss goes down in like a minute and a half.
It's just a jump to the left and then a step to the right.
If you do it the other way, which is everybody runs around like chickens with their heads cut off and stands in the spit constantly, then you'll have what I had on Monday night, which is I had a group that wiped on that bug boss, which I could not believe. I'm like, so all of a sudden I'm like tanking the boss as a DPS on my commando, and I look around, and it's because I'm one of 3 people that's still left alive. What did you do? I don't know. It's because people were all spread out, and they're like single targeting ads and leaving up the healers, and everybody's like having a one-on-one duel with an ad, which is ridiculous. And so that got me frustrated too. and that
it's
was
ridiculous.
That was also the night that I finally got that bug boss, or that group finally got their stuff together. They got it all together somehow. We killed the boss. And we didn't get credit. So that's mostly been fixed, but there was some problem with this group because we did it twice then. We wiped once and we did it 2 more times, and no one in the group got credit either of those 2 times. So our group was bugged or something. But the bugs, I was bugged by the bugs bugging out on the bug boss on that night, just to be clear. All right. Deep breath. Second to last zone. Let's take a quick look. Let's go down to the catacombs, because I do the catacombs second to last, and I do the Jedi Temple last for a specific reason. We'll get to that in just a second. So here we are in the catacombs. Again, you see we've got this droid here giving us a daily called Missing Pieces to retrieve data pads. So we could pick this up if we wanted to. Hit M on the map. This is one of my favorite zones to do quests because I like going down into the ravine. There's two.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
you like those champions down there? They're just cool.
Yeah, they're just golds. They're just elite.
Yeah, they're just elites, and then we're fighting
They spawn pretty
captains, and we're
quickly.
delivering supplies. The Imperial supplies delivery is cool too. Let's go down to that area, but first let's go down and say hi to the bugs, the big bugs, big bada bug. It's up this hill here. These sometimes you need to wait a little bit, but these seem to respawn relatively quick, and they die quick, so you don't have to wait very long. Yeah, see, here's somebody waiting right in the middle. So here's the first one. His name's Razor Claw. So this Jedi here. Oh, I'm gonna get out of the way. So let's go to the second one. They're the cool looking. They're only elites, but they're the cool looking champion model of these colloquids.
Yes.
That I really
No,
like.
Killix.
Killix. Yeah, Killix. Yeah, not colloquids. So zoom in on them when you're fighting them. Oh, there's another group over here waiting for it. But zoom in when you're waiting for them to spawn and you're fighting them. Who is this? This is Sork. We can invite this Sork to our group. Come here, Sork. Oh, they left. They must have got it already. So here I'll zoom in and show you. It's just a cool looking model, a cool looking bug. Are you here? Where'd you go, Seema? Did I lose you?
I started to go up to the other one, and then I thought you were waiting. Oh, did you go up to?
I went to the. Yeah, I went to the.
Oh,
one on
I
the
see you
other
up
end.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I thought, from what you were saying, that you had stayed at Razor Claw, so I turned around, but I'm heading your way now.
So here it'll spawn. It's relatively quick. It'll spawn. Yeah, here's Scarjaw. So if you zoom in there quick, if you zoom in there, that just the model of this thing is just so cool. I want a companion of the full size version of that companion.
Yes.
That as a.
But
as a
would
companion.
it be a companion, or would it be like a person companion, or like a?
Yeah, like a person companion. You can have the Wampa. It doesn't have to be a friendly thing.
That was my question. If you meant like, no, yeah, yeah.
The other thing you might have down here,
like a sentient companion or like an act dog companion? That's where I was going.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe sentient.
Yeah, because I mean,
So here's another of the dailies. There's something on the Imperial side. You're picking up these data pads that as you're down here in the ravine and a couple other places. On the Republic side, you're coming up here and you're shooting captains, Killick captains, which also appear in these locations by these little camps. So you're going to get that done while you're down here. Both sides get to kill those two big bugs. And then we can go up top and just show off the one other area, which is another one of the Republic versus Imperial, two different things you're doing in the same spots at the camps up on the other side of the zone, which I like.
Right. And, theoretically, if you did do it in the PvP instance, you could find, these would be perfect opportunities for skirmishes.
Yes, absolutely. This would be a good place for that to happen. This would be the place where Thon would be going, oh, look at that.
Yes,
look at that Jedi over there. I'm going to get him.
I'll be right back.
So on the Imperial side, you're delivering supplies to these little supply drop, yellow supply delivery points. On the Republic side, you're unlocking the prisoners that are in these little prisoner cells. So it's again, it's one of those things where You've got something to do on each side. If you're on the Republic side, you're going to have to clear out these Imperial soldiers and snipers. If you're on the Imperial side, you'll also get these Killiks spawning, which get into little fights with the Imperial soldiers. So it's a cool area. It's a cool little area. Oh, and we're also killing captains here. So we've got the thing to kill the captains as part of this too. And then also in this zone, on the eastern end of the zone, is where the bug boss spawns. So you would probably get summoned over there, but if you're gonna, you can go into the Ossus Canyons quick travel point to get to the bug boss. All right, let's go to the last point, which is the Jedi Temple ruins. If you are doing the macro binocular quest, on the Republic side, 2 of the scan points that you'll need to do are at the Republic at these Jedi Temple ruins. Here's another heroic that you can pick up from this captured Jedi. This heroic is in the ruins. It's not too tough to do. I'm still skipping it because you got to like wind your way through there, kill a bunch of trash, and then kill 3 sort of Jedi Masters. Since I'm not doing many of the heroics anymore, I usually skip it. The other reason I tend to skip this area is there's a relic mission that we're doing here. It says recover Jedi artifacts. Those Jedi artifacts have been bugged for me, it's been like 75% of the time lately. 75% of like 3/4 of the days I come here to do it, they're just bugged, and the whole map is bugged, and the artifacts, you can't click on any of the artifacts.
Yeah, I hear people complaining about it on general all the time too.
Right. So it's in the back of the temple here. The heroic is in the temple here. So if you quick travel to the heroic entrance is actually good. I think you'd end up right in here on the left. So this is the heroic entrance, which is those force fields there on the left. And then if you sort of go through here on the right, there's 2 things you do in here, though. One is the artifacts, and the second is, I think on the Imperial side, are we burning books? We're doing a little Fahrenheit 451 deal where we get to burn some books. Why am I not getting the... Yes, destroy Jedi texts. So let's see if the artifacts... Nope, artifacts are bugged today again. So this is what I'm talking about. So hopefully in the patch, they will get fixed up. This is one of the Jedi artifacts. There's supposed to be a mound of dirt here that you click on, and it looks like you're digging out of the dirt, and then you uncover the artifact, and then you can click on the artifact. But then you wind your way through here. Yeah, see, they're all bugged. There's another one just sitting out there in the open. It's bugged. Another one in the middle here, so they're spread around here. The thing that's not bugged here, so hopefully they're going to fix that, and you'll be able to dig out your artifacts and clear them out. On these pedestals around this outside, though, are the Jedi texts, the Jedi tomes. You click on and burn 3 of the Jedi tomes, and then you need to go kill a Jedi Master that's over on the other side to complete this daily after you burn 3 of the tomes. Again, on the Republic side, you're doing something slightly different. You're recovering Jedi hilts in the next room, in addition to the artifacts, I believe, and then doing something with the Sith in the other room. I think we do 4 texts here, and then we get another like master text in the next room where you got to kill a droid, I believe. And there's little skirmishes going on here with Republic and Imperial. Yeah, destroy the Master Tome, and the Master Tome, I think, is guarded by a droid, which is a somewhat annoying droid, which has effects similar to the droid boss that you end up that I just gave you the strat to fight, the world boss. So when you come on over here, no, it's not. So that's on the Republic side. The Republic side, you get the hilts, and then you got to kill the droid boss. On the Imperial side, you're clicking on this last tome, aren't you? Yeah. This ancient Jedi sacred tome, you click on this and a Jedi Master shows up that you gotta shoot in the face, if you know what I mean. And there's the Sentinel. And he's only an elite, not a champion. He just knocked me down. Oh, and he aggroed a bunch of other things. That's okay. You could clear this other stuff out beforehand if you wanted to. There's a bunch of ads around the outside of the room. You don't need to fight them, though, if you just avoid that first knockback. And that's about it. So you can get 10 in a day. You could do them all in a day. You could do your 5 favorite easiest ones in a day and do that daily. You could do 2 a day or your one favorite one, 7 days in a row. Lots of ways to do this. You're in particular, you're trying to get done the do 10 dailies because that's going to give you
Right.
that artifact box, right? And right. And then you want to do your masterwork, your crystal weekly, which is to kill the 2 world bosses or do 50 points of rank PvP. And then maybe turn in 500 unassembled components and maybe do the timed weekly. And that's pretty much what you want to do. You could do more. You could do the heroics if you wanted some extra credits, command points, maybe some extra rep tokens, that kind of thing. You could be doing heroics to get credits. I would think that would be the least effective way to get credits. But the main thing we're doing this for is 252, 258 gear. And doing the weeklies is the way to get that. So that's the rundown. Any other tips and tricks that you wanted to lay on them, Seema?
Yeah, like you said, you sort of outlined our idea of like the minimum that you could do, but even more than that, like you say, we're after that, basically that one mission that you do 10 dailies for, so you don't have to do it every day, like, and you don't have to do 5 every day. Even if you come one morning and you're working on dailies and you get called away, it's fine. You finish it the next day or finish it the day after that. Just finish it before Tuesday on reset.
Yes. So what's your favorite way to do them, Seema? To do them multiple days in a row, or do them all in one day, or how have you been doing it?
I prefer to do 5 and 5 so that I can cherry pick and do just the fastest, easiest ones.
Yep, makes sense.
Or even 3, 3, 5 or something like that. I don't, but my personality is that sometimes I will leave it until Monday,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to do 10. But yeah, that's not my favorite.
So I left it till the weekend this past week because I had a bunch of work stuff during the week, and I ended up doing 3 characters all in one day. But even doing all 10 and getting the world bosses in, you can usually get all of that done in about 45 minutes or an hour if you get a good pickup group that does the world bosses relatively effectively. That'll take 15, 20 minutes, and then another 20 minutes, 30 minutes to run through 10 of the dailies. You can get it done pretty quick. The other trick, as I mentioned in the beginning, is if you're trying to get to that 252, 258 gear quickly, remember you can legacy smuggle gear set pieces around. The only caveat that's slightly different with the 252, 258 is the mod and enhancement on, say, the chest piece. You can't swap that mod and enhancement to like a leg slot on another piece of gear, unfortunately. So the mods and enhancements are also bound to the type of gear piece that they are. But here I've got now 3 pieces, head, legs, and chest piece on my mercenary. All of my gear on my mercenary, as you can see here, is legacy shareable set piece. I will put those mods into these orange legacy pieces, and I will send them over to my commando, and my commando will have them. I could be doing this on 4, 5, 10 characters, all of them commandos and mercenaries, all of them DPS characters, and be getting these artifact crates opened up and masterwork data crystals. I could be like Zen and I could have multiple characters in full 258 by this point. I don't, but I could. So that's how that goes.
Yeah, the way these dailies are set up, you can absolutely customize it to doing from the minimum to doing all of them every day.
Yep, absolutely. And I think it was said in the chat room, I much prefer this way of doing it to IOCATH for a couple reasons. One, I think the dailies are easier. Two, you can do them all in one day and you can pick them all up right away. Um, and three, I think just the way they're combined and sort of like the story element to them, I like them better here. There's some elements of what's it that's kind of fun with IOCATH where you're sort of like controlling the droids and doing some specialized things with the droid control and the whole droid theme. But I also find that just the trash and the droids that you're shooting on IOCATH, they like hit really hard and they're annoying. You got to heal yourself up. Where it's more normal fights here on Ossus. I feel it's not as have hard trash as it is on IOCATH. I don't know why
Yeah,
they made the trash so
right.
hard on IOCATH. If you're not paying attention, you can get yourself killed by just strongs on IOCATH. Easily. I mean, even with a companion out, there's like two of the large strong droids. If they focus fire you with their rail shots, they can take you out. They can do 100k damage in like 3 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes the nature of dailies becomes that you might not be paying 100% attention.
Right. Why would you pay 100% attention if it's like the 10th
Yeah.
time that you're doing it? They are fighting a Sith executioner. So I must be that droid that I mentioned must be for the endpoint of another of the quests, not this one here, because there's a Sith side and a Republic person that you can kill as part of this one. Anyways,
I will say that I was starting the Ossus quest line on a character last week, and I went to Odessa to talk to Lana, and I walked up to somebody's companion. I was looking on her because she was like in that area, and I wasn't really thinking, and I'm like, oh, there's Lana, because you know how you started out by talking to her on Odessa.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is pretty funny. If they were of the guild, I don't know if you've ever seen someone that has the guild name Your Companion. Then
Yeah.
it would be like Lana Your Companion or their
Right.
name Your Companion. That makes it extra hilarious. One final tip that I'll throw out there: the timed weekly. In order to do the dailies and the regular weekly, you need to have done the Ossus story. You can start the Ossus story without having done any of the other story. It will just complete that other story for you automatically with some default choices that matter. However, the timed weekly, you can pick that up if you have never been to Ossus and never done any of the story. So this week, for example, the timed weekly is to do a story mode operation. If you're going to do a story mode operation, might as well come to Ossus, pick up that timed weekly, just fly there on your ship, pick up the timed weekly, go do your story mode operation in the group finder. You'll get a Masterwork data crystal without ever having done the story on any character. So keep that in mind as well.
And also, I mean, not that we've been talking about conquest, but if you start Ossus on a character that hasn't done Kotet and coffee, and it fills all those in for you, then you can do any of the chapters.
Right.
I was always wondering that, but yes, you can.
Yeah, you can still go back and do them.
No, I mean like for conquest, like before, if you hadn't done Kotet and coffee, you couldn't do like chapter 7 of.
Oh, right. So when it completes them, then it also completes them as you then being able to go back
Yeah.
and redo them.
So now they're on my list for that
That's
character
useful
of
too.
chapters that I could do for conquest.
The only thing it does give you, as we said, is it does make some choices for you, like what companions you get, what companions you kill.
Right.
The kill choices, the complete choices, those get defaulted, and it's different defaults whether you're Republic or Imperial. I think they default to mostly dark side choices on the Imperial side and mostly light side choices on the Republic side. So you know it's hit or miss. You can look up though what those choices are. They've got
You
them in one
can.
of the guides.
I didn't do that, and I was like, oh, where's my Kaizen? I'm like, oh, I don't have them anymore.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Now, always remember, on especially the original companions, there is the console. There's a There's a terminal in the Odessan base where you can go and get companions that you may have lost. Can you get them if
Yeah,
you've killed them,
yeah.
though, because of the story? I don't know for
I
sure.
know you can. I know you can use the terminal to get them back that haven't come back yet. I didn't know you if you. Oh, well. Anyway.
Anyway. There may be ways to save yourself there just a little bit. All right, I think with that, our EPC 277 droid here is ready to get dumped out an airlock and get this broadcast this episode to all of you. This holocron of knowledge on how to do these Ossus dailies. So hopefully some people are finding this useful. If you want to get more tips and tricks from us, please follow us on Twitter at MaxTheGray and at AIESEMA. Or better yet, come join our guild on Jedi Covenant. It's aie-guild.org is the website where you can find links to our Discord. You can jump in Discord anytime and say, hey, Max, hey, Seema, hey, any of the officers that are managing the guild here, Republic side, Imperial side, here's my character name, get me an invite, and we'll take care of you. That's what we're hoping. We're hoping to get more cool people come and play in the game with us. Find us on Discord, find us on Jedi Covenant, find us at aie-guild.org, and we'll get you all set up. And we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.